Why do you think you need your hair so much to look good? Let me tell you a story. It's March of 2015, and I'm a sophomore in high school, and it's time for our semi-formal dance. It's like this dance that they would do, kind of like prom, where you dress up and everybody goes there and you look good and everybody has, fun. So it's about 2 nights before the dance, and I'm realizing that I need a haircut. At this time, my hair was relatively short. It was probably a little bit longer than it is now. And it isn't until the night before that I start scrambling and trying to find a barbershop where I can go. The one that I usually go to is in a city, but at this time, even they're closed. So really quickly, I look on my phone and I see that there's a place in like this kind of white, wealthy town where they have a barbershop that's still open at 9 at night. So I tell my dad, Dad, please take me to the barber. I can't go to the semi looking like this. And he said, all right, son, I'll take you. So he takes me to the barber shop, and as soon as I get there, I can tell something is wrong. They are not playing loud Hispanic music. So I'm like, oh God, they're playing no music at all. So I see that there's a lady there, and she's the only one who's doing haircuts at this time. So slowly, I start to walk in and I sit down in the chair. Instantly, I can tell that this is not gonna be a good cut. She starts cutting my hair, and as soon as she's like pretty much done cutting it, I'm like, wait, is that it? Let me tell you, bro. She doesn't even do a lineup. At this point, I'm just like, all right, just cut it all the way short, like almost like a skin fade. So she just keeps on cutting. She cuts everything off. She just finishes. She doesn't even do the lineup. And I'm like, okay, guess I'm going to the dance like this. I was so ashamed of how I looked that I almost didn't even want to show my face at this dance. But then I get to the dance and something funny happens. People are complimenting me on my haircut. People are complimenting me on my style and telling me that I looked good that night. And I'm so confused because I always thought my hair was so important. If you are a masculine man, recognize right now that the masculine always is willing to favor simplicity over beauty. And you've seen this with some women that are very masculine. What do? They cut off all of their hair. They're in their masculine frame, and so they're willing to neglect beauty for simplicity. Your hair isn't as important as you think it is. And I know it's hard to let go of it because you think it's part of your identity. But I used to have locks, bro, and I cut them all off because I realized I was optimizing for beauty when I should optimize for masculinity instead, and for the simplicity that it gives me not having long hair. I've been out here in Bali and it's fucking warm out here. It's like 70 to 90 degrees every day. And for me to literally put on my helmet and then my hair's all sweaty all the time and then I have to go wash it. I'm like, dude, why am I giving myself all of these extra problems? In the West, it's so important for men to look good. And I realized that a lot of men optimize for their looks. They start doing looks maxing. And look, this isn't a bad thing because if you have acne, if you haven't started going to the gym, like, dude, those are things you should take care of because taking care of yourself makes you feel worthy. And so, 100% go all in on looks maxing, but don't do it in a way that makes you look like a fucking pretty boy. Like, for me, I realized that's what I was going for. I was going for this look of somebody that almost had this feminine energy about them. And I realized that that wasn't me anymore. That wasn't authentic to who I really was. Because deep down inside, I always knew that I wanted to be a man's man, somebody that was a leader, somebody that could actually go and talk to the girl and not fear that the way that he looks isn't good enough. Why are you so attached to how you look? Why are you so attached to your hair? Don't you realize that the quickest way to change your self-image is to change how you look? In the book Psycho-Cybernetics, the author is a plastic surgeon, and he talks a lot about how sometimes he would do plastic surgery and he would remove a scar on somebody's face and they would still see the scar there. Or he would change their nose and make it smaller and they would still see that they had a big nose because their self-image didn't change. And so if you're trying to remove a bad habit, or if you're trying to make a life change or adjust yourself to your new self, the best way to do that is to make a change. Cut your hair off, start new, start fresh. Law 25 in the book 48 Laws of Power, recreate yourself. Never let yourself be bound by the role that society has put on you. Allow yourself to have freedom in what you're doing by recreating your own image. It gives you this new perspective on life where you don't actually have to live by what other people have told you should do with your life. If your parents told you that you should go to college, but you don't want to, why bother going when you know it's not even something you want to do? You're just filling this surface level of purpose that you don't even need to fulfill. You're just doing it for somebody else. And so it's the same thing, and it relates to your hair. People expect you to look a certain way, and you don't have to do any of that. You can liberate yourself by doing what I did. Dude, there are times where I've literally thought, I'm gonna cut this whole thing off and just go bald, and I don't give a fuck anymore. Because if you're a man, it's not about how you look, it's about who you are. So get out of this frame of, oh, let me just do my hair. Maybe girls will like me more then. I've actually been getting more attention from women since I cut my hair. Think about the guys that are in the army, buzz cuts, or even bald. So as young men, I've realized even I've made this mistake in the past of optimizing for looks and optimizing for beauty. And I thought I looked really good, and I think I did. I really optimized for it. I was pretty. But now I'm more concerned with being masculine, and I'm more concerned with doing the things that a man should be doing, leading from the front, not from the back. So if you're a man, here's an action step for you right now. Go get a haircut. Cut it shorter than you usually do. Do a different style. If your hair is fading, if your hairline is receding, go bald. And I'm not saying that that's always the best way. For some people, yeah, it might be better to get a hair transplant or do whatever you want. Like, I don't care. It's up to you. But why are we so focused on this superficial thing? Why do we think that this is the key to our confidence? Look, it's not your fault that you're like this. Because when I had locks and I had long hair, I was trying to hide something, bro. When I grew up, a lot of people always told me that it was unattractive for a man to have a large forehead. They always used to make fun of one of my friends, one of my cousins, who had a big forehead. And I was scared that that would be me. And so I always had this dream of growing out my hair so that I could cover this insecurity that I had. Well, it's here. I don't give up anymore. And I think one of the best ways to get over your insecurities is to embrace them. Face it, fix it, make it better. Because the truth is, everybody has them. They're chinks in the armor. And it's up to you to take it and use it to make yourself a whole person. Because if everybody has an insecurity, it's really the people that are playing up their insecurities that become more insecure. Instead, look at yourself in the mirror and decide that even though I have this insecurity, I'm still the fucking man. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Are you gonna do the work? Peace.